Welcome to the Spiritualist. Today we have Jake Edwards, former AFL player. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, well, you know what? I was quite shocked to see how tall you are. You were so tall. Like, I'm like half your size.
Yeah, it's typical AFL player, tall and lanky.
And then I could not believe, having a talk to you previously, before that, I can't believe we're from the same hometown.
I know, right? Do you want to make mention of the town?
We're both from Melton.
We are both from Melton,
Yes.
yeah. So but always never forget where you come from. It's a beautiful place of the world. Anyone gets a chance to get through, get to Melton, get there.
I still live at Melton.
Yeah, it's quite funny, isn't it, how the universe brings people together, and here we are today.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So obviously we'll do the cards and we'll see what's happening and we'll see what they want to tell you.
Please.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I've never done this before, by the way.
Oh, haven't you?
This is my first ever reading.
Ever?
Ever, yeah.
Okay, this is great.
So this is very new to me.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's see what
Well,
we
I hope
get.
I don't scare you too much.
No, I hope I don't scare myself too much. My
Now,
shuffling?
Have a good shuffle.
All right, I am terrible at shuffling. I've never been a big kind of cards, gambler type person, so that's why I'm no good really at shuffling.
Well, I used to be good at
This is
poker.
going to look pretty pathetic. What's that?
I used to be good at poker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. You'd be great at it.
Strip poker. No, that was a joke.
Of course.
Oh, you didn't play
you
that.
went there.
You didn't play
went
that
there.
in the teenage years.
Well, that's the other show, kiddies, not this one.
Oh, yeah.
Right, are we going to fan this out?
Yeah. So fan it out, yeah, and pick any 21 from anywhere.
Now, you know the 21 is my favourite number.
Oh my
is.
goodness. Well, it's my favourite number too. That's why I always pick it.
Yes, there you go. So 21. Is there a reason for 21?
Okay, my reason for 21 is because I just kind of see it as, I wonder why I pick it. I think it's just because I love the number 2, and then, I don't know,
Fair enough.
actually. That part's going to have to be, yeah.
All right, 8. I think I'm going to 9, 10. Do you want to just count there that there's 10 there?
Okay.
And make sure I'm getting this right.
Okay, so let's have a look. So we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 4. So we've got 10.
7, 8. Okay, there's 21 there. There should be 21 there.
Okay, so let me have a little work these out a little bit. Now, another thing I want you to do is just give me a look here, because we want to see who comes through. Now, straight away, I've had a male that's come through, so no matter what, there's a male spirit, and he's always with you. Now, he's saying he's a mature man, so he obviously died at an older age, and he's also athletic. So I know that this male has, because it's mentioned athletic, he was very generous, he's a very good advisor, yeah, so he would have advised you with a lot of stuff. So he's the one that's come through. So do you know who that is? Is that your grandpa?
Yeah, well, my grandfather,
Yeah.
well, my background's in AFL footy, you mentioned before, so I was the 5th player in my family to play league football. There's my great-grandfather who played at the Bulldogs, but specifically speaking, I knew my grandfather quite well.
Okay.
So
well, yeah, he knows you very well.
Yeah.
But well, for him to, and I know that that's the athletic one because he's mentioned that.
Yeah.
So is he the great grandfather?
No, I didn't know my great-grandfather too well. It could be, possibly, but in terms of when you say of giving advice, my grandfather would be the one that would...
Is there someone's name beginning with A?
A?
Yep.
Yeah, Arthur.
That's him.
That's my grandfather.
Yep, that's all. Oh, okay, that's him.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, so that's the one.
Okay.
Now, he's talking about a new beginning, which is going to be good. So that he's saying that everything's going to start turning for the better. So he's talked about that he gets worried that you don't take a lot of risks, that you need to take more and take more chances. Also, he's talking about, he's saying that sometimes people take advantage of your kindness, and it's kind of like you take on burdens of other people. It's like sometimes you can have that, self-guilt. And do you overthink a lot?
Typically, yes, I do. In my field of work, it's pretty hard not to. So
okay, because he's talking about more that you suffer from anxiety, sleepless nights, you overthink to an extreme. It's hard for you to relax. Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult.
But the difference is, I suppose it's that thing, like you're saying that you still got a very young, like it's kind of like mentally you're a lot younger, and you are the kind of person that will still, because how old are you? Because he's
32.
You're 32, see, he puts you more like a 28-year-old.
Right, okay.
So you still muck around, so he still sees you as a young person, That's how, must be your character.
Yeah.
And he knows that you're a very gentle and loving soul, but also he's really going on about the fact that on the path that you were on, it did take its toll. So he's saying that due to the football and due to these things, you're probably a bit too hard on yourself. This was probably, and he's talking about the being trapped and not knowing which way to go and stuff. Like, so he's saying that when you were about 15, did the anxiety start about 15? 14, 15?
Rough, I mean, looking back now, it would have been probably 14 to 17. Yeah.
Okay, so what would have happened is he's saying that at 14 it would have been, because he's the same. He went through the same stuff. Yeah. You were very much like him, out of probably all the children, out of probably your family.
Yeah.
And the problem is, which people don't understand, is it's that horrible, he's saying that it's that horrible feeling that you can get inside that you can't stop. And it's not an overthinking feeling, but it's a frustration that you kind of can't release. It's really, really hard.
Yeah.
So not only did you go and, you went and played AFL, what team were you in?
Carlton.
And was that the only team?
Yep.
Did you? Yep. So you were in Carlton, which is normally at the bottom of the ladder. So that's
They were at the time.
at the top.
That's why I was disappointed to move on.
Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. I do like Carlton, but I'm more of a Sydney. So I go for Sydney. So I'm an old South Melbourne supporter.
Right. Okay.
So I've been
to
to football since this young.
Yeah.
So I suppose, and that's where the horrible part is, because it's kind of like it doesn't go away. No. And they're saying that you work out good strategies to help you and to get you through these times, but no matter what, it's kind of like you still go up and down. And I'm talking about in one day. So in one day, things might be going really good and everything's good, and you can feel fantastic, and then the next minute you can just go boom. And it's not only, he's saying that part of this was the journey that you've been on. So it's kind of like, and I see this a lot in football, because I've done a lot of readings for people that do play AFL, which I wouldn't mention their names, but I'm seeing the same pattern. Yeah, and that same pattern seems to come from, I find that there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of things where, if you don't make it, or if you do, or things like that. Also, it's for some reason, I reckon that's something that has caused your anxiety and depression to get a little bit worse.
Yeah.
I reckon that has, because of the pressure. Not only that, people don't realise that when you get to a certain point as well, and then then it didn't work. You've worked your whole life to get to that point.
Yeah.
And then something gets taken off you because of who knows for what reason. And you go crashing down.
Yeah.
And it's how do you heal from that?
Yeah, it's certainly been a difficult time, there's no doubt, and even today it's still traumatic. And the thing about my footy career, it didn't end on my terms, but it kind of did. So Carlton actually offered me a contract, but I wanted to go to another club. So the Bulldogs of all clubs, who my great-grandfather, my grandfather and my dad all played at, offered me an opportunity, and they gave me the world, and they promised me the world and gave me an atlas. So my career ended quite traumatically and not on my terms. So, it's certainly something I still hold with me today. There's no doubt. Yeah.
To me, this is where I get so frustrated, because he's telling me this is what's destroyed you.
Yeah.
And I'm really upset about that, because people don't realise that in AFL or in any kind of football, how much this affects. Yeah, I even seen this even when I was the medic at the football clubs. I even seen the stress of the kids, even at a young age, to see what they had to achieve or go through. And I suppose normally I don't get this emotional about it because I don't have someone that has been through this. But your grandfather went through the same thing with football. He knows how hard it is. And that's where the stress, and he knows how you feel, yeah. So to me, he's saying that's more what broke you. And he's saying it's really, really hard, but you got to let go of it. It's like he's saying that it won't heal until you let go of it. And and I've been in that situation, yeah, where the same thing kind of happened. I've worked in a job for many years and it come to a crashing end, which wasn't good, and I had a breakdown. For 2 years I didn't leave the house or get out of bed, just about. It was like I had 10 people on my shoulders, yeah, and it destroyed me. Now this is the same thing. I feel that same feeling with you, that it just took everything from you. Now to build yourself up, how many years ago was this?
Well, last year was 2009, so quite a while ago, 11 years ago.
Yeah, it doesn't
I finished,
matter.
Yeah.
It's still amazing on how you still will think of the what ifs. And you know what? In some way, you'll blame yourself for something. Yeah, because this is it's like self-guilt and punishment, that you're punishing yourself, because in some ways it's like he's saying you're punishing yourself. And you've got to stop. So what he's saying is, everything is about to change. Thank God for that, yeah, because he's saying there's going to be a quick end to a lot of things. You're heading totally into a new direction. There's going to be a new beginning. So you know what? There's a whole new beginning for you. Also, they're talking about a business, and they're saying that there's going to be, it's kind of like this business starts going really good, and it's around about the summertime. It's going to go, I reckon, around about March. This is going to go a lot better, this business that you have. Also,
Right.
he's talking about another thing as well. So it's not only what business, you got a business?
So I'm a CEO of a charity, which I've been working for 5 years, but I've got a clothing label as well, which is good. And then I've just started another project, which is more music therapy in a business
I see
called
this
Friends
as
of
that.
Mine, yeah.
I reckon this music therapy will go really well, but also I see another thing to it later on, because they're talking about more achievement. So it's kind of like, I see you as, and this is how you hear your grandfather speaking, right? It's like you're an empty jar. What you're going to do now is each time and every single year you're going to keep filling that jar with good things that you're doing, just to make yourself feel better. And the whole problem is, what he wants to realise is your jar will be full and it will get full, and that's when you'll feel fantastic. But don't let the mistake happen where the lid pops and you've just got to keep on overflowing, and the next minute it's like you don't notice your achievements that you're going to do. Because I get worried that you're going to fall in that trap that you just want to keep achieving. Yeah, you've already achieved.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything more than that is enough in his eyes, yeah? You've done so much. You are only 32 years of age. And to me, he's so proud of you to know that you've done so much, but you just do not take. It's like you don't see it like that. No. It's like you see it as I failed, when you haven't failed, you've actually exceeded well beyond. And there's so much more to come. So I'm just,
That's interesting. Because I've certainly felt that I'm never, even now with the work that we do with the charity specifically, I never generally, a lot of people look at what I do and who I am as this real figure of influence and inspiration and stuff like that, but I never really get my head around it. I never really truly understand it. And for me, it's kind of like, okay, that's great, but what's next? I'm always moving on to the next thing and doing more and doing more.
But you always will.
Yeah, and that's the thing I've really had to try and appreciate, is that I'm constantly looking for my premiership. Do you know what I mean? Like I couldn't get it in footy, so now I'm kind of like, well, what is that for me, and where is that for me? And that's where the charity's been great. But the Sonic Minds thing, I'm doing the music and that, I've always tried to find a way to get into music. And I think this, for me, that's a real kind of, I think, a niche where I can put more of my time into, which I'm certainly going to do.
I think you have to do it because that's a meditating way for you to release the stress.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think and I know, if I could, because I know that you're going to keep on filling that jar and just let it, you're just going to keep on wanting to achieve.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like you're not going to, it's like you just don't forgive yourself. It's like you feel that you could have done more. And you know what? You couldn't have done more. The choice was taken from you. Yeah. And you know what I always say, and this is something that I really want big with football and AFL, anything, I think that when a departure does happen like that, I think that there needs to be massive cancelling and also beforehand that there needs to be cancelling if things don't work out. You know, this is how it's going to go or whatever, because the problem is if people go in thinking it's going to be in AFL for this long or go into whatever and put all their time in, but really it mightn't even last that long.
That's right.
And then they're devastated, like they've just hit a wall.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I'm telling you, I've seen some pretty cruel coaches, in my time, and the pressure is just horrific, and I don't think people realise or understand the pressure people are under. Yeah, so I think that definitely in that AFL world, I think a lot of things have to change in that, because I know even when I've done readings for people in the NRL, profession in that league, the same issue as well. I'm telling you, they get pressured and the same stuff happens, and then we end up with people and kids that are sitting there at 32, 33 like you.
That's right.
Yeah, and you know what? You're really lucky because most of them hit the drugs, hit the alcohol, and go into gambling and destroy their lives.
Certainly.
So he's so proud that you didn't go that way, that you turned and went to a better way, and that you've done, you know. Now, there's a woman that you're going to meet as well, which is really good. Now, she's very casual.
Yeah, cool.
She's really casual. She's very faithful. Do you know, it's like she's very passionate. She's got fair hair. She's just really lovely. I reckon she's going to be very motherly. So I reckon she's going to be like your mum. Yeah, I see her as a motherly figure. You need that. Only because I think that and when I mean by that, I just feel that you need a nurturer where someone's going to be like, but also strong. Yeah, so you need someone strong and you need that nurturer at the same time. You'll meet her later on. Yeah, which would be good. But they are saying that if you're disillusioned with things now, he's saying everything's going to change. Now, I've also got a female spirit that's also with him, that's come through. Now, has the Nana passed?
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, they're together.
Okay. Yep.
They're together.
Yep.
And it's funny because when they were together, she used to yell at him.
Oh, yeah, it's just part of the banter.
No, because she's a woman where she could kind of have that temperament. Yeah, it's so funny because I see him as a very strong man, but yet she'd kick his ass.
Definitely.
And that's what I'm laughing about, because she's saying, hey, I rule the roost.
Absolutely.
Mine to say. And did she pass before him?
No, after.
So he passed. So did she not cope?
She passed away in her sleep, which was just unexpected. She just went to have a nap one day and she passed away. Well, I think it was about maybe 4 or 5 years after.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I know for a fact that when she passed, he was there. And you know what? She chose to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It was one of those things. She just
chose it. Yeah. You know what? He would have reached his hand out. She would have she's out of here. Yeah. And now, one thing that she's talking about, because she's bringing up the motherly, she's bringing up the motherly side, and she's saying that from your past as well, it's also affected like your self-esteem and stuff like that. Yeah, so just make sure that you're always believing yourself, and you just need to become more confident. It's like you walk that tightrope, and you keep questioning everything. It's like, do I go this way or do I go that way? And it's like, she's saying just go straight ahead and don't even look down. Don't even worry. Like, I'm telling you now, everything's going to work out fantastic. And she's also saying that athletically everything goes good, but there is going to be a time, she's saying, that you will have to. It's like you've got to take time off from football. Now, I don't know why, but there's some reason why you do. And you know what? It's kind of like they're saying that you're going to have it's like all wishes are going to be fulfilled for you, which is really good. Financial problems are going to be fine. You're going to be fine there. Everything's going to start turning for the better. Now, she's also mentioning that you do end up having 2 children.
Nice. That's good to know.
Now, So it's funny because I reckon you're going to have a male and a female. I still reckon a boy's coming first. So I reckon a boy will come first, and then I reckon you'll have your
Girl.
Yeah, your girl. But that isn't until, I reckon you're about 30 or 32, 34. Yeah, I still reckon you're in your mid-30s, yeah? She'll be younger than you.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Okay, great.
So
I'm on the right track.
You're on the right track. You're going to be fine.
Yeah, cool.
So did you enjoy that?
It was great. Terrific. Yeah, really good. Really
Did
insightful.
you enjoy coming in today?
I did. It's always humbling. Like I said, first one, when you bring up things like your grandfather, you're just like, okay, well, you have to listen, don't you?
Yeah.
It's really, really nice. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Jake Edwards, ex-football player for Carlton, for coming in today. And it was fantastic doing your reading, and it was great just to get to know you.
Yeah, terrific.
Thanks a lot. Bye.